is Jarrod Horak, and in this video I will analyze the Kentucky Oaks at Churchill Downs on Friday, May 2nd, and it will go as the 11th race. It's the Grade 1, $1.5 million Kentucky Oaks for 3-year-old fillies, a mile and an eighth on the main track. Scheduled post time, 5:51 p.m. Eastern Time. We have a full field in here, and let's dive right in. Number 1, early on for trainer Safi Joseph Jr. Edgar Zayas is going to ride, and this one at 30-1 is a long shot. 6 starts, a win, 3 seconds, and a third-place finish. This one has improved since stretched out and broke the maiden in February at Gulfstream Park, then finished second, beaten a half length in the Virginia Oaks, didn't get a lot of pace help and rallied nicely there to miss by a half. And then in the Gazelle last time out, a Grade 3 at a mile and an eighth at Aqueduct, finished a nose behind Ballerina Doro. The Ballerina Doro should have probably won that race easier, but early on pressed the pace and finished a quality second, more than 5 lengths clear of the show finisher. So that was a good effort. This one should save ground behind the speed. Not the worst stab in the world to finish somewhere in the top 4. Number 2, Simply Joking, one of multiple horses that likes to be forwardly placed. This one's 10-1 with Florent Giroux in the irons. Whitworth Beckman is the trainer, and this one's lightly raced and on the improve. 3 starts with 2 wins and a runner-up finish. Began her career in a stakes race, the Letellier Memorial at the Fairgrounds. That was in December, and that was at 6 furlongs, and she rallied from 5th place in a 6-horse field to win that race, and she took money. Good effort there. Stretched out, caught the slop second time out in the Silver Bullet Day, was able to get out there, control the pace, and go wire to wire as the favorite. And then last time out in the Grade 2 Fantasy Stakes, was able to get out there and set the pace, and ended up finishing a clear second. So look for this one, second start after the layoff, to be all over the pace. Number 3, Fondly, she is 20-1 morning line. Irad Ortiz Jr. is going to ride for trainer Graham Motion. She's 2 for 2 lifetime. So she has a lot of ability. We're just going to have to see if 2 lifetime starts is enough for her to jump up and face these more seasoned rivals that she's going to face. She had Lasix in her career debut, 7 furlongs at Tampa Bay. She stuck the pace from the inside post, and she won nicely by 4 lengths that day. And then she was able to run in the Virginia Oaks. And second time out, she did not have Lasix. She was the favorite. She was able to get out there and be right up on the pace. The pace was not that fast, and she was able to win that race by a half length over early on. So that was a good effort. She has a lot of upside. It's just she just doesn't have that much experience, and she hasn't run around 2 turns because that Tampa Bay race in her debut was at 7 furlongs, and then the mile and a 16th Virginia Oaks was around 1 turn last time out. Number 4, Drexel Hill is a 30-1 long shot for Whitworth Beckman, his second runner in this race. He also has Simply Joking that I mentioned earlier. Ben Curtis is going to ride this one. 7 starts, 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. This one started on all-weather ground last year, moved to the Whitworth Beckman barn, and ended up finishing 5th in the Untappable Stakes, 3rd in the Silver Bullet Day in the slop, and then cut back to a 1-turn mile and won the Busher Stakes from off the pace last time. The problem with this one could be that he is better around, or she's better around 1 turn, because she broke her maiden around 1 turn by 6 lengths at 7 furlongs, cutting back in distance, and then she cut back last time and really ran well there. So now she's going to stretch back out in distance. So if she fails this test, look for her to cut back in distance in the near future. That could be a good angle because she's already won 2 times going route to sprint. Number 5, Quickick. For trainer Tom Amos, Umberto Rispoli is going to ride, and he's riding Kentucky Derby favorite Journalism on Saturday. And they paid $550,000 for this daughter of Mackenzie, and for her, 6 starts, 1 win, 1 second, and 2/3. I liked that progression she made when she finished behind Cara by more than 9 lengths in her debut at 7 furlongs to a maiden victory second time out at that same distance, adding blinkers. And then they stretched her out in the Alcibiades, and she was second. So that was a good effort that day, and she finished in front of Quietside, who's also in this race. And then she was 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, a decent late run there, but beaten 6 lengths. So then she came back this year, and she's disappointed. She hasn't moved forward from age 2 to 3. In the Grade 3 Honeybee, she never really got involved. She was 5th in a 13-horse field. And then last time in the Grade 2 Fairgrounds Oaks, she competed against Good Cheer, the favorite in this race, and she was beaten 7 lengths in an 8-horse field, finishing 4th. So she split an 8-horse field at 12-1 last time. She doesn't have any speed. She should get pace to chase, but she's going to have to run much better in her 3rd start of the year to compete with this group. Number 6, Ballerina Doro for trainer Chad Brown. This is a daughter of Medallia Doro. Tappet is the dam sire. Nice pedigree here. Flavian Pratt's going to ride her for the first time. Good price at 10 to 1 for these connections. Good jockey trainer team. She started her career on turf. She was up the track in her debut. And then second time out as the favorite, she was able to rally and get the job done at Kentucky Downs. Then they ran her in the Jessamine Stakes. That was on at Keeneland at a mile and a 16th, and she ended up finishing 8th in an 11-horse field after a slow start. They moved her to dirt, and they ran her in the Demoiselle Stakes, and that's when she caught my eye. They put blinkers on. She had post 10. There wasn't much pace in there. Muhimma was out there controlling the pace on the front end through below par splits, and Ballerina Doro was last early. She made a nice run. She could not get to Muhimma, but she was clearly second best, and she was well clear of the show finisher that day. So then Chad Brown wanted to start her in the Rachel Alexandra Stakes at Fairgrounds this year, but right before that race, she got sick. She would never shipped from Florida, so she was wintering in Florida. He was going to ship her to the Fairgrounds for that race. She wasn't able to make that race, so he had to call Plan B. Luckily for him, she recovered quickly from that illness, and she ran in the Devona Dale. But the Devona Dale was a one-turn mile, and that race was just much too short for her, and it was just a beginning point for her campaign. And she ended up finishing third. Now, Cara was second there, just a nose in front of her, and the race really didn't set up for Ballerina Doro that day, and the distance was too short. So then getting out to a mile and an eighth last time is exactly what she wanted to do in the Grade 3 Gazelle, and she was stalking the pace from that inside post, getting a great trip. Coming for home that day, she tipped out. It looked like she was just going to roll by that field and win by open lengths, but then she lugged in. She didn't change leads. And then she just did prevail there by a nose. She was the heavy favorite. She was my tough choice, and she just did defeat early on. She can't make those kind of mistakes in this race, but she's one that has a lot of ability. $320,000 purchase. She had a good effort in the Demoiselle and the Bonadale and the Gazelle. So in all three of her stake starts, she ran decent races. Third start after a layoff, she should get much more pace help than she got in her first two starts this year. If she can run a straight line this time and not get into that trouble, she's got a big chance from off the pace to finish somewhere in the top three. But the key is going to be she can't make those mistakes. But prior to that, she wasn't making those mistakes. And in her workout, she's looked solid. And we'll just have to see what we get from her. If the race shape is in her favor, she should be finishing. Number 7, Cara. She is 6 to 1 morning line, and she could be the one to catch in here. She's been getting rave reviews for her workouts at Churchill Downs, including an April 22nd bullet in 46, best of 33. So she's really been tipping her hand this week that she's going to show speed. The question's going to be the mile and an eighth distance. Does she really want to go that far? And probably her best chance is to get out there and set the pace. 9 starts, 4 wins, and 2 runner-up finishes. She's won at Churchill Downs before, hasn't run at this distance before. And on fast dirt, 4 wins and 2 seconds from 8 starts. So for Cara, in the 2 races this year, and overall 3 points race wins. Let's go back to the Pocahontas last year, the first Kentucky Oaks points race. She rallied from 11th place that day, but then she was no threat in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. And then in the Suncoast Stakes, she was able to get out there and control the pace at Tampa Bay Downs, and she won that one. And then in the Devona Dale, she chased the pace. She cut back to 1 turn, and she finished second, just a nose in front of Ballerina Doro. And then last time in the Ashland Stakes, she was able to get out there and control the pace and hold on by a length and a quarter. She was up by more than 3 lengths in the stretch. Take Charge Milady was coming at her late, but it was too late, and Cara was able to win that race nicely. So for her, I think the key to her success under Dylan Davis is to get out of the gate, get to the front, and just try to go all the way and slow things down at some point. Now, she could have company up on the front end, including number 8, 5G. This one's 12 to 1 morning line, and she likes to be forwardly placed. 5G was well up the track in her debut at Saratoga. She's a New York bred, and that was a New York bred dirt sprint. And then second time out in a turf route, she was able to break her maiden against New York bred company. The Tepin Stakes on turf, she finished second. Moving her over to dirt this year has been a good thing. The 1-turn mile cash run stakes at Gulfstream, she was all over the pace, and she won by 9. They shipped her to Oaklawn Park and stretched her out in the Grade 2 Honeybee, and she set the pace from post 13, and she finished a length behind Quietside, and those two just made it a parade that day. Actually, even Muhimma in there was third. those three made it a parade. None of the other horses really got involved in that Honeybee. And then the Gulfstream Park Oaks last time, back to Gulfstream, she was able to get out there and control the pace and win that race by more than 2 lengths under Manny Franco. He's going to ride back for trainer George Weaver. The Gulfstream Park Oaks typically is not a strong prep race for the Kentucky Oaks. It's been a long time since a horse won the Gulfstream Park Oaks and the Kentucky Oaks. Tenma is in from Southern California. She's number 9, and she's 12-1 for trainer Bob Baffert. Juan Hernandez is her rider. 6 starts, 5 wins, and a show finish. She won her first 2 races, including the Del Mar Debutante. Then they stretched her out in the Oakleaf, and she had that long-distance pedigree, and you thought she probably would do well around 2 turns, but she didn't that day. She was 3rd, beaten 10 lengths, and she added blinkers. But then they took blinkers off, and she won the Starlet Stakes around 2 turns, and she showed much better tactical speed, because in her first 2 career wins around 1 turn, she rallied from off the pace. And then in the Starlet, taking the blinkers off, she looked very good that day, winning that race. Look Forward was the runner-up, and that one was a Next Out Stakes winner. Tenma was a Next Out Stakes winner against 2 rivals in the Grade 3 Las Virgenes, and she battled on the pace, and she won by more than 6. The Santa Anita Oaks, she was able to sit back off the pace and win that one by more than 2 lengths last time, but that was not a strong speed rating that she earned. She did earn a strong speed rating in the Las Virgenes, but not in the Santa Anita Oaks. So for Tenma, under her winning rider, Juan Hernandez, he's 3 for 3 with her. I would expect her to be probably fairly forwardly placed in this race. They paid $850,000 for this daughter of Nyquist, and Bob Baffert has won the Kentucky Oaks 3 times. Take Charge Milady is 12-1 morning line. Now, she has foot issues. She's been having problems with her feet, and she's not 100% guaranteed to go in this race. But if she does run, then McPeak's going to feel like she's fit enough to win this one, and she should work out a good trip. If for whatever reason she does not run here, and her foot issues don't heal up in time, she'll probably run in the Black-Eyed Susan Stakes at Pimlico next. But for her, I've liked this one in the past. She ended up finishing second in her career, in her second career start at Oaklawn Park. And then she added Lasix, and she broke her maiden at 1 mile by 4 lengths in the mud. And then she won the Martha Washington Stakes as my top choice when she stalked the pace, and she defeated Quietside by more than 5 lengths. The Honeybee, everything went wrong early. She had a bad start, never was able to get involved, and I mentioned that race. Quietside, 5G, Muhimma, 1, 2, 3, all the way around the track that day. Closers had no chance, so Take Charge Milady had no chance that day. And then she bounced back in the Ashland Stakes. She rallied from off the pace, and she finished second. She was getting to La Cara late. Mile and an eighth should not be any trouble for her. Kenny McPeak and Brian Hernandez Jr., good jockey trainer team. They won the Kentucky Derby last year with Mystic Dan. They also won the Kentucky Oaks with Torpedo Anna. So look for her to be rallying from off the pace if she shows up in this spot. Number 11, Good Cheer, is your 6-5 morning line favorite. She deserves to be the favorite. Another daughter of Milady Doro. Street Sense the damn sire for trainer Brad Cox. Luis Saez will be aboard. And she is 3 for 3 at Churchill Downs. And this looks like a good distance for her. And she has a good running style for this race as well. So for her, she's just dominated all of her races, and she just rolled right through the Rags to Riches Stakes, the Goldenrod, this year the Rachel Alexandra at Fairgrounds, and then the Fairgrounds Oaks. And the Fairgrounds Oaks has been a productive prep race for the Kentucky Oaks in recent history, and she's been the favorite in all of her races, and she won them all. She's the favorite again. She's going to work out a good technical trip on the outside, and she could easily take this race, but her speed ratings just do not tower over the rest of these rivals. She's kind of running the same kind of numbers that some of the other rivals have been running. But on the Thorograph number, she did get a better number last time in that Fairgrounds Oaks. And she's one that if she can just run back to that, that might be enough to get the job done in this race. On April 17th at Churchill Downs, she had a 5-furlong bullet. Number 12, Anna's Promise. Carlos David is the trainer. Junior Alvarado is going to ride this filly. 8 starts, 2 wins in 3 seconds, and she's 0 for 3 at Churchill with 2 runner-up finishes. And they claimed this filly for $50,000 when she broke her maiden in a maiden optional claiming $50,000. And then she won an optional claiming race at Gulfstream Park, and then she was second last time out. 5G took the lead in the Gulfstream Park Oaks. Anna's Promise chased from second, and she was more than 10 lengths clear of the show finisher. So she has definitely improved in those last 2 routes for her new trainer. But in here, the pace scenario might not be to her liking. She likes to be forwardly placed. I mentioned that multiple other horses like to be forwardly placed in here as well. Number 13, Bless the Broken, for trainer William Walden. 7 starts, 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. And she's one that handles any kind of footing. In the slop, a few starts back in the Silver Bullet Day, she was second. In the Rachel Alexandra, she was third behind a Good Cheer. And then last time in the Bourbonnette Oaks at Turfway Park on all-weather ground, she rallied to win that race with a nice wide run. So John Velasquez rode her last time. He got to know her. He's going to ride her back, know her connections. William Walden said he would not mind a wet track. There's a chance that we could have a wet track on Friday. There's chances of rain at Churchill Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. More light rain. It's not supposed to be heavy, but for Bless the Broken, I think a wet track could move her up, and she could rally, and I wouldn't be surprised if maybe she finished somewhere, snuck into the superfecta at a big price. Number 14, Quietside. 8-1 morning line, John Ortiz and Jose Ortiz. And a good horse here. She's in really good form and very consistent. 7 starts, 3 wins, 3 seconds, and a third. And she raced once at Churchill with a runner-up finish. So she's always in the top 3. She was just hitting the board in stakes races in the Grade 1 Spinaway, the Grade 1 Alcibiades, the Grade 2 Goldenrod, the Martha Washington. She was just hitting the board, and Good Cheer, Take Charge Milady had beaten her in a few of those races. And then she finally broke through with her first stakes win in the Honeybee when she was able to track the pace from post 12, and the race flow was in her favor, and she won nicely. And then in the Fantasy Stakes last time, right up on the pace, tracking the pace as the favorite, and she was able to defeat Simply Joking, and it was more than 8 lengths clear to the show finisher. So back-to-back graded route stakes wins for her. She's in excellent form right now, and Quietside is one that will probably stalk the pace while out in the clear, and the pace should be honest. So I think the key to this race is going to be the pace. I think we're going to see an honest pace. There's a good chance that we could see an off-the-pace winner unless Lakar is able to just get out there, shake loose, and hold on like she did in that Ashland at Keeneland last time out. I'm expecting an off-the-pace winner, and the race flow is in the favorites' favor here. Good Cheer. Would not be surprised if she won this race, but she's not going to offer a lot of value. I'm going to take a shot with a filly that I've always liked, a filly that's been on my Kentucky Oaks list all along. I've had her as part of my Fabulous 5 Oaks fillies since last year, since I started my list, and that's Ballerina Doro, number 6. She's one that I think that she could be even better than she looks on paper. She's going to have to be because she can't make mistakes like she did last time. But after that Demoiselle, I put her on my Oaks list, and she's been on there ever since then. And that was a good effort that day. She was well clear of the show finisher. The race flow was not in her favor, and that was her first start, and she showed a lot of ability that day. And then the Devona Dale, I said a 1-turn mile. That was the backup plan. That was too short for her. Chad Brown needed to get a race into her to target her next race, which was the Gazelle Stakes. And then it looked like she was going to explode with a big effort in the Gazelle, and then she lugged in, failed to switch leads, but still ended up winning that race. She can't do that and win this race. She needs to make no mistakes. And if the pace is honest, I think she'll be finishing, and you might get Flavien Prat at Chad Brown at a price. So no doubt Good Cheer is the one to beat, but I'm going to go with my value top choice, number 6, Ballerina Doro. Don't forget to like, comment, and share these videos if you like them. Subscribe to my channel as well. It's free to subscribe. And if you're interested in my Triple Crown season full cards, I'm offering full cards for Kentucky Oaks Day, Kentucky Derby Day, Preakness Week, Black Eyed Susan Day, and Preakness Day, and then Belmont Stakes Week, multiple full cards at Saratoga, including Belmont Stakes Day on Saturday, June 7th. And I've been doing these full cards online since the late 1990s, so I've had a lot of experience and success with my full cards. If you're interested in them, runawayhorse.com on my shop page, and that will do it for this video. And until I see you next time, good luck at the races.